very remote places. They can see even through YouTube links or whatever, which is framed and then given by your CR. If not CR, second CR. Otherwise, every student is class representative. You are all representing our underground coal mining MN 2102. Now, to start with, already I started recording, and then let me start downloading your attendance. Don't worry for the attendance. I consider everybody as present, right? I have given attendance yesterday itself for the last month. You must have seen in that. I know when I am facing a problem of connectivity being in NIT Rourkela, with whatever the money we are paying for this MS team to concerned companies, organizations, still we are facing problem of connectivity. And my beloved students of 2102 underground coal mining methods are not problem creators. They are solving the problems by anybody, and you are giving my voice also many times through your phones. So when connectivity is good, now let us continue. And before that, already I have taken attendance. Let me share my screen and let me know whether my screen is visible or not. Yes, no. And I should get the response, then only I can go forward. Is the screen visible, my beloved students?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Very good morning once again. Underground coal mining methods, MN 2102 warriors for future. And welcome to this lecture 15, just one less than your sweet 16, which we start on Monday, sweet 16th class. You must be liking sweet 16. Now, coming to the today's discussion, already we have seen many issues of underground coal mining. In that development we are doing it. For that it also requires even the barriers and then so many things when you are designing, right? This is, I am just going back once again just to remind you and review that pillar size issues. Now everybody is aware of it, even through the coal mines regulations also of 2017, which we have seen in detail in the last class. With whatever the pillar size in the regulations, where it should not exceed 4.8 meters, and then the size as per class 4 of whatever that regulation number 112, 113 or 111, right? And the development work related already we have seen, and that coal mines regulations of 2017, that was just to revise or review. Now for today, now we are going into the barriers, right? That means when we decided and designed the barrier or the panels, and when I am talking about the panel, let me also show you how that panels, and then once again just to remind you only. Now panels already we have seen how that panels are there. I have given you some examples of KTK5 mine, where in that mine situations. Also I have shown you, including that pillar and other things, how it appears. And because it was a recent one, only 9/12/21, you must have seen this date here, only just 1-2 months back, right? It was submitted. I wanted to show you to you, my beloved students. Generally, we give an investigation statement. The scientific work documented in this report. Now you must be seeing everything here. I don't want to hide, at least to my students, beloved students. You are all like my sons and daughters, right? Now, scientific study for deploying with sandstone beneath surface structures at KTK5 incline Bhupalpally area SCCL is carried out by the National Institute of Technology Rourkela at the request of SCCL. This report is classified as confidential and is meant for the internal use of the organization to which it is submitted. So now you also can be a part of this type of investigations in future. Based on that is the reason why I have given you the topic of your interest assignments and all. And this is the way how people get involved in the projects where there are problems in the industries. That's where our National Education Policy 2020 and dealing with the present problem is the situation, is the our motto. Okay, this report in full or part can neither be quoted nor published anywhere by anybody other than the investigators. But you also can be a part of the investigators depending on your interest in that topic, in the subject of your assignment, for which already you must have been preparing as per the requirement of the assignment and TA whatever in the international journal format. You can also, I hope, at your convenient time, maybe discussing with me or taking any advices, or during my after 30 minutes or after the end of the class just before closing, any doubts in that time also, you can also ask any doubts if you have regarding your assignment, what material you collected, you are preparing it, you can also show so that others also will learn something more through you, where knowledge should flow like a river water and not to be stored like a pond water, my beloved students of underground coal mine. Now, it should not be communicated, circulated to other agencies other than the concerned government departments. National Institute of Technology, Rourkela, reserves the right to publish the results of the present study. This is what. And in these reports, I used to make some of you who are interested really to learn something in mining and underground coal mining MN2102 can get into these things, and which is mentioned in the acknowledgement also that you are a part of this type of studies. And that's what just I wanted to highlight, just to show that these are not for publication or to show to others, but my beloved students should get some knowledge out of it in solving, and that's why I'm showing that. Okay, now this is the mine already I have shown you, but coming to the barriers, now I am more interested in this. Now, through this, if you understand the barrier, then that will be very important, very easy to understand also, where these are the barriers, my beloved students. Barriers around the panel or the district, whatever. Now, when you extract this either by stowing or by caving method, either by longwall mining or by blasting gallery method or non-effective width of extraction, or by white stall mining, or by longwall with stowing or with caving, advanced or retreat mining, multiple seams, inclined seams, thick seams, thin seams, whatever it is, right? Then these barriers are also supposed to be designed in such a way that when you extract this panel, total panel, this barrier should not get disturbed. This should have sufficient strength, right? Even if there is a fall, that fall should be restricted up to this. So now you can understand by this, right? If this is a total panel, I mean the total, the total mine, right? In that total mine, if this is one of the panels, right? This is your panel, one panel, right? Now, whenever you are extracting, this is a longwall panel or maybe BG or maybe depillaring panel, whatever it is, right? With any method of excavation in that. Now, this barrier around this, right? That barrier pillars. Now, I'm keeping it like this as a barrier pillars, right? 1, 2, 3, 1 pillar, 2 pillar, 3 pillar as a barrier, right? Otherwise, it can be a solid barrier where there is without any interconnections. But you know very well in the development also everybody understood interconnections are required to provide a good ventilation and clearing the fumes when you are blasting it or dust, whatever it is. Okay, in that way, now coming to these barrier issues, now we are discussing today, and that's what is your this now. Continuing further with this type of discussions, now let me also show you, my beloved students, our many times there may be some problem of making it full screen. Don't worry, that problem may be solved. Okay, full screen, it is not happening. Right. So the barrier at the periphery of a panel should be able to take the load coming on it, which primarily depends on strength of the barrier cone and overlying strata pressure. That is very simple to understand. That means what? Now, this barrier pillar size, how much should be the size of the barrier and all those things are supposed to be designed in such a way that, in such a way that you have, why this is happening, I don't know. Okay, it's all right. In such a way that this barrier pillars, whatever you have seen in the mine, an example of KTK5 mine Bhupalpally, where we submitted only recently that reports to them of investigations, that should take that overlying stress or the strata pressure, and it should have sufficient strength to take that, even if there is a caving in the inside that panel, or even if it is a stowing panel, after some time that stowing material which is having a stiffness compared to whether coal or rock mass, stiffness of whether it is a sandstone with a sand, and or it can be a tailings in a metal mine or whatever it is, any mines, or it can be any material like fly ash or pond ash that has a stiffness compared to the original coal or sandstone, shale or whatever the material. That means what? Even you are filling with 100% of void is filled by stowing, still there is a problem, right? Still there is a problem of uh, some gap, right? That gap is created if it is hydraulic stowing, which is being used nowadays or any time, majority of the cases, hydraulic stowing. And nowadays, of course, we are going for paste filling also. You please note down all those things. Paste filling, we started initially in India from the metal mines where we are using even in HRL mines, right? Like that. And that is a better one compared to hydraulic stowing or water, mixing water and then sending with more water percentage. And that water, when it is percolating outside, then there is a shrinkage of that material that itself creates some gap. Okay. And then after that also, when it is settling with time, that gap is supposed to get some type of roof sand or whatever flooring, whatever it happens, then only that gulf will be settled, even if it is a sandstone even if it is a stowing material or even with the stowing panels or backfilling panels, this will happen. And in that way, now because of that, even in the stowing panels also some type of caving or some type of roof deformation will occur. So these barriers should have sufficient strength to take care of it. That is what I wanted to emphasize. And then with increased softness of core and depth of workings and width of barrier also should increase. Very simple to understand. And the barrier pillar, if you are going to have, this is a panel, and in that panel, now these are the barrier pillars. Now this is a panel and one barrier pillar, second barrier pillar, third barrier pillar, and I think this is the best way of showing our panel and barrier. And here, suppose if this is a total panel, this is the way you entered into the mine. This is our total mine, and then I hope you are able to see. Yes, no. You are able to see the keyboard.
Yes, sir.
You consider this as a panel, right? Now this is a panel having 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 by 4 pillars, or just I am considering this as a 3 by 3 pillars. And this is your barrier, my beloved students.
Sir.
This is the way how you can do that. Now barrier around the panel, even this barrier pillar, when you decide in the beginning that this is going to serve as a barrier, even you need not connect this. Now this is the way how you prepare the panels. I hope you are understanding it, where this will have a more better stability compared to these pillars. Here this pillar, this length is more and there is no interconnection. This is the way how you do that. Even here, there is a barrier pillar. These are the barriers around, right? Now you can see the stability. If this barrier, now just to make it more understanding for you, my beloved students, even you can consider this as a total panel, right? And even this barrier pillar, I can keep it without any connectivity like this, right? Without any connectivity like this also I can keep, and then that will have a better stability. That is the meaning of it, right? But that connectivity is required, and there also we should be able to take a decision. Decision in the sense we should take a decision in such a way that if you are connecting it and how much of coal you can extract, what will be its cost, and then when you are extracting that much coal and preparing an isolation stopping, how much cost of the stopping will be. So many issues you can take it up. Right. Now continuing further, usually width of barrier is kept same as the width of the pillars. The reason is very simple, my beloved students, because the pillar whatever we are designing or what was given as a guideline in that regulation, whether 11112, whatever the name is there in our regulations, there it is to some extent a over design when we have also calculated with some average strength of the coal and other depth covers and all those materials, whether by modeling also we have seen, and by any other analytical models also, we have seen that that is something like a over design only, so that will be safest, we can say like that. And in that way, that is having more than 2 safety factor, whatever was provided there. But there are some typical situations. There may be some highly disturbed areas or geological situations where there may be highly weathered rock mass or highly cleated coal, or so many things may be there at different. Even there may be high horizontal stresses in the valleys or hills. So many things may be there. Okay. Barring that type of situations, otherwise that regulation whatever is giving is a better with more than 2 safety factor when we analyze through analytical models or through your empirical model, I mean, and then also numerical models. So barriers up to 45 meters, whether it is by empirical, analytical, numerical model thick, are left during development at very high depths. Now, in such cases, for conservation of coal during pillar extraction, barrier is thinned down to an extent until the safety criteria permits. I hope you must have understood this, right? And then we are going a little bit further in the panel size. As already you have seen how panel size is determined or is selected, right? If this is a total mine, you might have extracted by entering through inclines and then making into then trunk roadways on both sides, right? And also along the dip direction, reaching up to the boundary and then starting simultaneous development declaring. Otherwise, also you must have started development, in-seam development in the part to the whole. From here itself, you started developing the pillars and then making some type of isolation stoppings in terms of your ventilation stopping, so many things for proper ventilation, and then entered up to the boundary. And otherwise, there are some mines where we are depilling at this place also, right? Already I have told you what is to be encouraged, what not to be encouraged, right? So we go for a simultaneous development depilling is a better one, and from the whole to the part is a better one of the development. There, if you can decide what should be the panel size, and that panel size can be of this much size, or it can be of this much size, or it can be of this much size. It can be of this much size, whatever it is, and all that depends on now these things. What is that? This depends. Usually panels are longer along strike and shorter along the deprise direction, and number of pillars usually varying between 12 and 30, as we have seen in the panels itself, and depends on the incubation period of the coal, and that is between 3 and 10 months for Indian coal, so that depilling of the entire panel is finished within the incubation period. Now, as we have also, I think some other time also I must have shown some of these. Now the size of panel can be large if the rate of extraction is high. Now when you are using, already I have told you, if you are extracting by long wall, your panel size may be, right, 2 kilometers by 200 meter, or 3 kilometers by 300 meters, 150 meter by 1.5 kilometers or 1 kilometer. These are the panel sizes what we have, so that there is a high rate of extraction possible with all latest mechanization or modern trends of coal getting or coal cutting, then by shearers, even 1000 kilowatt shearer or 500 HP shearer, whatever, right? Or continuous miners, all those things. Now you can go for a bigger size, which is possible with mechanization. And size of this panel is also determined from the strata control considerations. Already, I think in the last class also some time I told you that panel size also should be not so small, right? It should not be so big. Already you understood. What will happen if it is a small, right? This also I just wanted you to answer when we are breaking at 30 minutes. After 3 minutes, we will break, my beloved students. Now, why the panel, a small panel will cause a problem as far as strata control is concerned, or a big panel will cause a problem? You just think over, we'll discuss further, and that is a quiz question for you for today. Sometimes long panels are unavoidable, especially when development is carried out by using conveyors and locomotives, right? In such cases, long panels are divided into smaller panels during depilling. While development, you must have kept in a bigger panel, that is panel for the purpose of your isolation, for purpose of your ventilation and all. You must have named it as a big size of 30-40 pillars as a panel. In that now you developed it and whatever you must have made it, right? But later when you are depillaring it, then you will be taking care of your that time, what type of mechanization you are using within that much time of incubation period, how many pillars you can extract. That is very simple to understand. And this is a 150 meter by 120 meter or 200 meter by 200 meter, 150 meter. This is the way how generally we can decide. And percentage extraction during the development. Now you must have seen, already you have seen it, right? So when this is a panel, right, this is a mine where it is extracted by board and pillar. By this time, since it is an in-seam development, it is a case is different when you are developing through a shaft and then horizon mining. There you are doing a lot of development work in the footwall, angwall, whatever in the metal mine, otherwise in the roof floor side. Otherwise, this is development, and then depending on the size of this pillar and the size of the gallery, you are already extracting some part of the coal, right? That part of the coal, then that may be 15%, 20%. Now, a simple another quiz for you is 4 meter is the width of the gallery and 20 meter is the size of the pillar. Size of the pillar means from pillar center to center. That center to center, you may consider center to center of the pillar or center to center of the gallery in a general homogeneous ground, right? Whatever. Otherwise, that can be viewed in a different fashion mathematically. But with that, how much percentage you are extracting? This is also another query for you for today, my beloved students. Okay. Now, termed as a pillar size from center to center, it includes half the pillar size of two adjacent pillars and the width of the gallery between these pillars. If the pillars are of same size, then this is same as the sum of widths of the pillar and the gallery. That's what happens. And some cases, the regulation says, or the thumb rule says, or your experience says that pillar should not be of less than that size. You can have a bigger pillar. No, nobody will object you. You please remember that, my beloved students of underground coal mining. You can have a bigger size pillar, right? But with 4 meter gallery, 20 meter pillar size, what is percentage of extraction during development? You calculate and tell me. Now we will break after just 1 minute only. The size of the pillar formed after the development is referred to as pillar size from corner to corner. The amount of coal extracted during the development stage is estimated in terms of percentage extraction. Already I have told you. Now you can. Now we are breaking at this stage now, but there is some problem in my screen or whatever, I don't know, but at least it is functioning, but tab or something, I think it is there. No, don't worry. Now any doubts? Let me take attendance once again. My beloved students, yes. Now any doubts or your question? Answer. Because we were discussing on few questions. Okay. Here let me insert new slide. Your quiz. Can anybody remind me what the questions asked? Quiz on 11 February 2022. What is number 1? I asked two questions. Acha, is my voice clear to you or not?
Yes.
Let me know. Very good. This shows that you may be sleeping. But don't worry, it is all being recorded. So also provided through YouTube link through your CR. CR1 or CR2 are all students are like your class. You are representing the class. OK, so if somebody is unable to do because of their poor connectivity problem or poor knowledge in preparing YouTube link, then others can also do that. No problem. But that is just to help your other students who are unable to get connected because of their poor connectivity. so that YouTube link can be simply seen by anybody, anywhere, even in WhatsApp. Okay. What are that questions? I asked few questions. What is the percentage of extraction meant with 4-meter wide gallery and 20-meter pillar size? Yes, that is number 1. And number 2. What is number 2? Meanwhile, you can start answering this. Of course, this can be answered later also. I mean, this quiz is quiz, and those who are interested to earn marks.
The second question was like why we cannot make very long panel as well as very short panel.
Very good. Why panel size cannot be too short or too large, too small or too large, whatever. Too small, let me put it in that. Too small or too large. That is, I am talking about with reference to reference. That is a word. Otherwise, already you know what should be the panel size because of your whatever you have seen already. Incubation period and all, right? You like pink color, so let me keep it in pink. Now you can answer any of these. Otherwise, don't worry, I can continue further and then we can discuss it later. Development with 4-meter wide, yeah, wide gallery and 20-meter pillar size. Right? That means the development already you have seen what should be the size of that, right? Now let me put it for you. Suppose this is a pillar, right, of that much size, right? And in this, what is a development? How much is the percentage of extraction, right? Now this is our panel, and in this, what is a percentage extraction? Now you should say this is a 4-meter wide gallery, and this is your 20-meter pillar. That is a from center to center, whatever you say. Now, what is a with this? What is a percentage recovery? You can work on it. Meanwhile, I will continue. If you are, I know you will be. It will not take more than 1 minute to answer this or calculation of this. It is not a big issue, not a Einstein or theory of relativity or whatever. It is nothing like
68%,
that.
68%, sir.
How much?
68%.
Name and then 68.
Sir, Pranav Kumar Mishra.
Pranav. Okay?
Yes, sir.
It is by Pranav. Okay. Anybody else? 68%. Then anybody else?
Sir, 30.5%.
Pranav. This is by Pranav.
Sir, Sanket Jana.
30.8%.
30.5.
Very good. This is by Jana. Sanket.
Yes, sir.
Any other answers? Because I am keeping everything very fair to everybody, so that everybody knows what we are discussing and everybody knows who is answering and everybody knows who will deserve more marks in the TA or in the exam later. That is a different issue based on the performance. I hope you know when is your midsem examinations? Yes, no.
Yes,
It's okay. All right.
Yes, sir. From 20.
Right. Now I am continuing further. We will discuss it later. Now it is that 5 minutes break is over now in between. Now at 55 we will break for these answers and your questions. Now width of gallery versus depth and size of the pillar already you have seen as per the regulation, coal mines regulations 2017. And with depth, the width of the board decreases and pillar size increases. Why we should decrease the width of the gallery? Because when there is more width and there will be more, I mean if this is a gallery, right, and this is your total mine, right, whatever, this is the width of the gallery, right? When the depth is increasing, this width, it is better to decrease, right? instead of this much width, then it is better to have less width, right? Or instead of this much of width of the gallery, now it is very simple to understand. When depth is increasing, right? When depth is increasing from the surface, then width of the gallery, this much gallery, and if this is only this much gallery, that these two galleries, now it is very simple that this gallery may be more stable, right, than this gallery, right? These both belongs to me. This belongs to me only. This also belongs to me. Both are galleries, right? But this gallery will be more unstable and this gallery will be more stable, right? This mobile, it may vanish away anytime, but this stamp may be there. Don't worry for that. Okay, so width of the gallery we should decrease so that it will be more stable, and size of the pillar we should increase so that it will be more stable. Now, therefore, percentage extraction decreases with increase of depth of the seam. That's what happens. Even we have done lot of studies, including the guidelines, whatever are framed by our Britishers, or before that also what is being followed in the regulations, where now you can see typical figures for recovery, maybe around 15% to 43.7 based on that galleries and that pillar sizes. When you calculate, it comes like this. Now, how to calculate? I think I need not tell you much about that. Of course, those they can also explain how they calculated it. Otherwise, I will explain because that is nothing. That is only a second class mathematics. OK, now extraction of pillars. After pillars are formed during the development stage of board and pillar workings, coal from the pillar are taken out and eventually part of pillar or total pillar is taken out. This is called pillar extraction or depillering. And here I am not taking you to all that extraction procedures where we will be splitting it and then slicing it, that this can be in a different fashion, leaving some type of even chaukidar. People used to say chaukidar, right? Chaukidar means that is even in the good roof conditions. Suppose if this is a pillar, right? This pillar to be extracted. Just I am showing you through only this, my beloved students, right? That I think it is better to show in this way. I mean, without this, let me now I have taken out that. So it is easy for you in pillar extraction. So I am not showing you or taking you or all those materials what were already you read about before, and it is very simple to understand. If these are the pillars, right? How to extract these pillars, right? These pillars. So this can be, now you consider only this. This is one of the pillar, right? Now this I can extract and more in a very traditional or in more conventional method what we follow, right, is just split that pillar and then slice it. Already I have shown you and I will show with latest technologies also I will show to you. And otherwise, if that roof conditions are very good, okay, and what you can do is even you can start reducing that pillar from the sides itself so that you will be reaching to the middle, right, leaving something like a chaukidar. That's what in our Hindi, right? You are in the Hindustan, right? Hindustani, Hindi. Okay, so that type of, there are so many ways. If it is very weak, right, how to do that in the geometrically, all those designs are there in so many books. Okay, but since it is our most conventional and most stable way of extraction is split and slice, but its orientation can be anything, right? It can be sometime inclined, and that names are also even a Wangavalli method of mining in, I mean in Australia, or otherwise it can be a pocket and fender method. So many names are given, right? Don't worry for that. It is there in the books and the references, materials, whatever. But we should know what is the practice that we are doing, right, in India, and then why it is being done. If you understand that, that is sufficient so that in future what you can use, or even nowadays we are thinking of, even some of my colleague scientists already they retired also as a chief scientist, our C.N. Ghosh and others whom we are there together, right, in our scientist apartments. Okay, ahead of stowing, they want to even replace the pillar with another material. That is one way of extraction, right? So where you are splitting it or doing something, and fill it with some other material and take out the adjacent material. Whatever happens in the metal mines like our Jawar mines or whatever Hindustan Zinc Limited, there also we have done that type of stoping operations. Okay, there it is stoping and here it is our depillering, and that is a pillar we are replacing with a backfilling material, right? And then other pillar coal also can be removed. So this is some of the latest technologies which is not, I cannot say commercially practicable, and of course depends on the site to site situations and value of that coal. That is also very important. Suppose if I get an anthracite or a very good coal like a diamond, right? So if a good quality coal, then there is no problem in going for that type of method of extraction also, where you need not leave any coal in the gove. I am taking out even a split, filling with a backfilling material, which is as strong as that coal with some cement, with something else, whatever it is, right? And then splitting it and then filling it with that and adjacent material of coal I can remove. In that way I can remove everything. But you can imagine how costly it is. Okay, right. That is the reason why even stowing also is not very much practicable in many situations. Even when you want more percentage of more coal to be extracted at the same time, fast rate of extraction, this is not possible when you are going for stowing, because you may extract fast rate of extraction maybe 15,000 tons or 10,000 tons per day coal, or 2,000 in longwall shearer. Otherwise, with continuous miner, 2,500 tons of coal per day with continuous miner, or with one LSD, with 5 LSDs combination in a district or in a panel, deploying panel of 1,000 tons or 200 tons maximum for one LSD. You cannot deploy more than even 10, 12 LSDs. You cannot do that, correct? Because of the size of the panel. Why you cannot use 10 LSDs like that? That also is a question. You can also talk about it. We will discuss, of course, right? So in that way, this extraction of pillars, so sorry, just a water. In a panel should be completed within incubation period. That is well known to you. You can also read. Pillar extraction can be done either with caving or stowing. That also you know. Now in the depillering with caving, here I want to bring to you, my beloved students. You please note down. You should understand. In some mines, I cannot go for caving. Right? Why? Because that roof itself is not cavable. And roof examples I have given you. Once again, you please note down. So what are that examples? Suppose there is a sill, right, where I cannot make that roof, right, overlying strata to cave. Then I cannot go for caving method of mining. I should go for a stowing. That is the reason why even in some of my reports I have given some recommendation where that may become another huge collapse, a disaster which happened. A disaster, I am telling you once again, my beloved underground coal mining engineers, which happened long back in South Africa when pillar design formulas were thought of. Okay, that may happen even in such situations when roof is not caving, but still, right? Overlying strata with some situations like Chercha mines. Already I have given that also I will show you. I kept it for you here itself, where we have done a lot of investigations in that methods. Okay, now in this method, coal pillar is extracted and the roof is allowed to break and collapse, that filling the void that is called gove, created due to removal of coal pillar that you know very well. It is in a metal mine, that is a stove, right? Now, this is allowed when no important structures on the surface. You know very well if there is a important structure, then that will get damaged. In that case, you cannot go for caving. Either you should go for, in that case, you please note down somewhere, I'm not writing everything here, where either you should go for extraction and then backfilling, right? So that surface is not getting exposed, affected by this underground working. That surface feature can be even a water pond, it can be a river, it can be a high tension power lines, or it can be even a railway track or railway tunnel, whatever, any structures, right? It can be even our parliament, it can be even our Rashtrapati Bhavan, whatever. You cannot do that type of excavation which may harm or which may disturb the stability on the surface. So caving method is not allowed. In that case, now what is option? Option is there either you should go for backfilling. You extract it but fill it back so that surface should not get affected. There also you please note down KTK5 mine which we have designed recently. Okay, that also already I used to tell you. All those examples also I will show you, my beloved students, all that investigations in between, depending on again your interest, right? You must be preparing your assignments and based on the latest literature that you are collecting in international journals or so many and preparing that. That also you can ask in the doubts in the section, whether it is at the end of the class, I mean 5 minutes before, or at the 30 minutes break, whatever we are taking it, so that will also help you in preparing one of the best assignment and may be useful as a national journal or an international conference journal, whatever it is, and that may help you improving your confidence level. TA is one of that to improve your skills, Skill India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay, now in that way, this is allowed when no important structure on the surface has to be protected and where surface subsidence can be allowed, then only it is used. And even that substance also, it can be a uniform substance, non-uniform substance with so many cracks in between, right? And there even capability also, you please note down somewhere, capability index also we generally determine. Even the size of the panel also we make it optimum size, neither too small nor too big, right? All that will help you in caving and very simple to understand, right? When it is a panel size is this much and another panel size is this much. One panel is this much size, another panel this much size. This much size panel, this much size panel. Now you can imagine as far as strata control, then how it will behave. Okay, that I want you to say something, then I will explain further. Now, so in that with the typical experiences of whatever we have done, of course, maybe a couple of years back, along with our electronics and computer science, our assistant associate professors, our LP Roy, right? And then PM Kilar, Professor PM Kilar, Professor LP Roy. From computer science and engineering department, I used to involve from so many departments, not only in our NIT Rourkela, in other institutions throughout India, of different transdisciplinary groups, which we started from 2006 itself, right? Not with NEP 2020. Now they mentioned about multidisciplinary. Otherwise, we have been doing all that. Now, this is a design and strata monitoring of deep learning workings of panel number 122. This is a level west of Churchamine, SECL. Then all those things I will be showing you. But before that, already as I have shown you before, some of the video clippings also, my beloved students, continuous miner, how it is working in the deep learning panel, where it is cutting that coal, and then these are the gathering arms which are collecting that coal which is falling, and then it is taken through armored chain conveyor and on the back to the shuttle car, and from there that can load onto the either conveyors, other conveyors, belt conveyors or whatever. Otherwise, it can be onto the tubs and tubs hauled to the surface, whatever is the coal evacuation system. Here itself I am explaining instead of showing that theory and from the books here and there, right? That how even cutting of the coal, getting the coal, and then the cycle of course support is another way that we will discuss in another module. And then from there, taking that coal from the face or the district or the panel to the different other surface, up to the surface, how it can be done either by rope haulage or by conveyor systems, or generally these are the two ways how generally we use it. And otherwise even locomotive haulages are also being used, especially in southeastern coalfield where adit mining or flat seams are the majority of the coal we are getting in that places, right? And now already we have seen, so I need not show now video clipping of this compatible. When we are extracting very fast, you should also be able to provide the support very fast to that places. And that's what is the resin bolting, how mechanized bolting is being done, and its mechanism of bolting also I have shown you at that time. And now that video clipping of that which I have shown, it's a pic, I kept it here as an image. Already it is cutting that face, right, of the core and in the depillering. And if that is a depillering with caving, how it is being done, I am showing you little bit now. You please note down, because you should be in a position to understand if some situations are given to you, some geomining conditions, how to design for panel, depilling of that panel, and what is a manpower, what is a machinery, what is that transportation system, ventilation, how to do the layouts, all those things. But that other systems other than designing the method, I give less importance, because all those, like it is a ventilation or transportation or mining machinery, material handling systems, and safety and hazards and other things, all will be covered in other semesters through other teachers. Also, of course, if you have any doubt, I will be very happy to interact, and you are there throughout your life until your last breath also, anytime, anywhere, from anywhere. Now, geomining details of the panel, now you note down for today. Now it is 10:53. For 2 minutes, just I will introduce you to that panel. You note down on in your notes itself, if such conditions are given, how to design a panel. Okay. Now, 388 meter minimum depth is 373, 388 meter, and thickness of the seam is 3.8 meter. Now you have to design the system of development, extraction, and all in these conditions. How to do that? Now, width of the development gallery is 6 meter. Now you may be surprised to see how width can be more than 4.8. Right now, you must have also got the answer, as already I have shown you that coal mines regulations, how it is giving with some specific some type of provisions, right? Provisions where we can take permission from regional inspector, who is nothing but a director of mine safety. Of course, he also will give permission only through chief inspectorate or through DG, Director General of Mine Safety, who is your super senior now sitting in Dhanbad, Mr. Prabhat, who is 1986 batch from NIT Rourkela. When he took over, he was there with us in NIT on February 1st last year, 2021. Now, and they are doing excellent work nowadays with more scientific mining, and they want your help now for the next generations, my beloved students of underground coal mining, MN 2102. Height of the development gallery 3 meter, length of the panel 266 meter, width of the panel 134 meter. There are different sub panels. In another panel B, 760 meters length and 196 meter. Then here I would like to stop at this stage, right? And another question, this is a continuous evaluation, whatever is a practice, what I want to write is, another question is it allowed to have 6 meter width development gallery? What are the reasons, right? Now, this is what is that. Now I want to just stop it here with another question. Now it is exactly 10:55, my beloved students. We are sharp at the right time. Now, I stopped sharing, but let the sharing be continued. All right. Now, let me take you once again the attendance. Now, anybody can answer. Or any questions, any queries? Let me take attendance once again, download. At least today we are fortunate that connectivity is very good. We have not faced much connectivity problems. Right. And this is a panel I kept in between, at least to give you some idea of what is that we are discussing about in different minds. Okay. Now, any queries? But let me know whether my voice is clear to you or not. Otherwise, how I will know?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very
Yes, sir.
nice.
Clear,
If
sir.
that is the case, now answer to these questions. Who want to earn some marks for their TA? Now, this is it allowed to have 6 meter width of the development gallery, right? And this is the conditions you must have written, noted down, on which we will be discussing in the subsequent classes for depillering with caving And of course, I am not summarizing now from my side, but quiz questions. What is the percentage of extraction in development with 4-meter wide gallery, 20-meter pillar size? Any other answers for this?
Sir, 20.9%.
You should tell your name.
Sir,
My
Surya
beloved.
Kant.
Yes.
Yes,
Surya. Okay. Anybody else? Because I am writing everything here. This is by Surya. And who is ready to answer also be ready. Who is ready to not only answering your this one summarizing, because after 1 minute now it is 10:58 to be more precise. Now let me know who is going to summarize. Meanwhile, I will tell you something more. Otherwise, you should have asked if there are some questions, queries left behind.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, I want to answer the second question, sir. Why the pillar size cannot be so small and sorry, panel size small, and so.
So I
If
think
panel size
Atal
is,
Bihari Vajpayee Saab is talking from heaven.
yes, sir. Sorry. I am Ayush.
Ayush is there.
Sir,
Next, please,
sorry, sir.
Ayush. Right, it's okay. Please continue.
Sir, it is too not too small because it beat the economy factor. If the panel size is too large, then there is two things happen. One is the stability of this panel is decreased, and other thing we measure that like the incubation period of a coal, it's going like if the incubation period is 3 months, if panel size is very large, then it time more time, then incubation period is done, and thereafter the coal is try to burning. So very large is problem, very small is not so much problem. It is less economy, but it get high better stability to the mines also.
Very good. Anybody else want to say something on that?
Yes,
then
sir,
I will tell
Surya.
you something, then we will close.
Sir, I'm Suryakant. That supervising a too long panel will be more difficult, and also for a too short panel, machineries and equipment installations and preparing developments will become harder. So too short and too long.
Very good. Surya and I tried to say very good answers. Anybody want to say something more? There are so many other reasons, but important reason is now I am telling you. Then be ready for after my telling this within 30 seconds, right? Okay. For summary, we will be ready. Be ready. Now you just imagine, my beloved students, if the panel size is small, that's why I've given you two examples. The one panel, this is this much big size panel. So we are all engineers, so engineers diary I am showing you, right? And another panel is of only this much size. Two panels, right? What will happen? Now I am talking about from the stator control point of view. Okay. Now, if it is a big size panel, while working itself, you will face so much problems of stator control, because when you are extracting, even following the diagonal line of extraction, or a long wall panel with more face length, that is also up that with a big size, right? Then there, what happens? This will lead to lot of load coming on the pillars which are there in the middle. That is what is the meaning of in the large size panel, that is a problem. And in the small size problem, what will happen? Now it is only instead of this size, it is this size. What will happen? Now for any type of roof, right now you can see in this way, right? For any type of roof, there is some width of the panel or a plate size which may cause filling of the goof and caving, right? That span, clear span. There is an equivalent span which can be estimated through rock mass quality and through our experience so much, and it requires around 4,000 minimum square meter area. And this is the way how you may also note down. Then if that is not even less than 4,000, 5,000 square meter area, small size, even that span is not sufficient to break the rock up to the whatever is required, that is up to the caving height as per the height of extraction. Caving height should be around 10 times. There are so many equations and so many things. Are the bulking factor of the material. Then if this is not sufficient, right, and this width is not sufficient, what will happen is this will not fall up to the particular height and fill the total goof. So that will remain as a stressed zone. de-stressing should happen after caving. That requires a minimum span. So when it is small and large, I hope you understood. Now, who is, if any problem, of course, you can write or you can talk to me anytime except my sleeping time from 9:30 or 10 p.m. to 4 or 5 a.m. Otherwise, you can talk to me anytime and then you can write in WhatsApp group and in our mail, whatever it is. But you should not have a doubt. It should be cleared, okay, my beloved students, so that you should become one of the best underground mining engineers, coal mining engineers in India, as far as our this course MN2102 is concerned. And now, who is ready to summarize for today? Summary.
Yes, sir. I'm Suryakant.
Surya summarizing for today. Continue, please.
Sir, we started with width of the barrier. You showed some of the recent investigations of that 2021 December of the Ketika 5 SSCL, where the barrier structures and around the panels of the SS9 panel you showed. Then we discuss some of the points like the stiffness of any stowing, sand stowing or anything, paste stowing or hydraulic stowing. It must be same as the coal pillar. And if any deformation happen to the roof structure, the barrier must be strengthened to take the load on it. Then usually the width of the barrier is kept the same width as the pillars. Then some question you asked that what is the percentage of extraction if the panel size is 4 and the center to center of the pillar is 20 meter. Then after that we discuss the panel size. In the last class also we have discussed that the panel are longer along the strike and the shorter along the deep direction, and why also we have discussed that. Then after that, yes, sir. Then after percentage of extraction we have discussed where the doubt come. After that, two doubts you asked, sir, why panel size cannot be too large and too small, and that extraction of percentage of extractions question. Then after that, the width of the gallery and the depth and the size of the pillar you have shown. During the extractions video period, what is the range in between we can extract the 14.8 to 43.7% extraction. Then depillaring and extraction of the pillars you showed, and some of after that caving, you question you asked that why we cannot use 10 to 12 LSD in a panel. Then sir, you coming to last, you showed some Ketika mine as their panels 112 depillaring in the Charcha mine, and continuous miner working the depillaring process, and some geomining details of the depillaring panel 122, where depth, cover, thickness of the seam, width of the development gallery, height of the gallery, and all these things you have sourced. Yes,
very
sir.
good, excellent. Surya has nicely summarized it. So others, it is very simple to understand, so I am not explaining that simple mathematics. Now you can check yourself how much should be the recovery, but very simple to understand here. This is a very simple percentage of this area, whatever we are extracting out of the total pillar from center to center. That means 20 by 20 is this. So 20 minus 4, that is a 16 meter. Now the pillar core is 16 by 16. From 20 by 20, what is the percentage? Very simple. That is a difference. Okay, you got it? I hope everybody should get it. Any doubt? We'll discuss. And in the next classes, I mean subsequent class, which will be our sweet 16th class next time. So there we will be discussing about other issues of the depillaring with a specific reference to the most mechanized method of depillaring with continuous miner. Meanwhile, you be with a homework question, since there is a Saturday, Sunday. That homework question for you is this. I should write it as a homework, right? Homework. So don't worry, I'm not treating you as a school student, but more and more to learn you can become more and more childish so that you will enjoy it, the learning process. So that homework question to you is it allowed to have 6-meter width development gallery that is as in already you have seen in this church mines, that is SECL. Right. Now this is what is that you are carrying with you as a homework question. And now for today, let us close it and then let us stop for today. All the best, and then let me take once again the attendance, and then any doubts, of course, you will be asking me through mobile, through whatever. And before stopping recording, so we should not enter into others class, already time is over. So I am stopping. Before stopping, what we should say? Shiktan,
Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Surya, Ayush,
Jai Bharat, sir.
Saksham. Right. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Now
Jai
you are
Hind.
living with your living guards, parents. Take care of them. They are taking care of you. That is a best opportunity, privilege you have because of this COVID, whatever it is, online class, staying at home with your living guards, your parents. Take care of them. They are, of course, taking care of you. That is the reason why you are there. Okay, all the best. Now I am stopping. Take care of COVID-19 and Omicron also. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. I am stopping recording now. Stop.